What is going on, Dreamers? Welcome to this really quick video on Unreal Tournament on the Dreamcast. Now, if you're familiar with this game, you'll know that the frame rate in this game, let's say, is not very consistent. It can get up to around, I'd say maxes out around 55 FPS at times. But when there's a lot going on, when you're in a big map with a lot of CPU players or other human players, if you're playing online, unfortunately you can't do that these days, but the frame rate can dip down quite a bit, as low as, let's say, around 15 FPS. So yeah, not the greatest consistent frame rate in this game, but I have found out a way that you can increase the frame rate not only to 60 FPS, but way beyond 60 FPS with just a couple simple commands. And I'm gonna show that to you right now. I know you probably don't believe me, but I'm gonna do it right here just to prove it. This is actually a legitimate way to increase your frame rate to, I'd say, well over 100 frames per second. I know, it's unbelievable, but I'm gonna prove it to you right now. I'm gonna use the in-game FPS counter, which you can bring up with a console command. In order to type in these commands, you will need a Dreamcast keyboard. Unfortunately, you can't do this with just a controller. So in order to bring up the command console, you need to hit T on the keyboard, hold down the escape button, and then hit space, then let go of escape, and you got yourself a nice little command prompt. First thing I'm gonna do is show you the default frame rate. If you type in suck, in all capital letters, I think you need all capitals, but maybe not. I don't know. I'm going to type in all capitals anyway. Hit enter, and then we'll start the match. And as you can see, frame rate is fluctuating quite a bit. If I just stare at the wall, it's about 55 FPS. But if I'm looking out here where there are actual players and stuff going on, it can dip to 20 and below, which is not great, but perfectly playable anyway. But let's say you really want to smooth out that frame rate, or you really want to get more frames. So what we're going to do is hit that T button again, hold down escape, space, and we're going to type in a command called SLOMO, space, and we're going to change that to half speed. This will change the speed of the game to 50%, and as you can see, if I'm just staring at the wall here, over 100 FPS. Of course, when I go and actually do something, it's gonna dip down again, but it's still running decent compared to what it was, probably about double the frames per second as it was before, which makes sense because we reduced the game speed to half. But we can push this even farther as soon as I deal with this guy, or he deals with me. So let's change that speed to quarter speed at 0.25, and now, as you can see, is running quite a bit slower. But if I just stare at the wall over here, we are getting 150 FPS and beyond, which is absolutely amazing for this game, and it is staying above 60 now. So if you run this game at quarter speed, you can get easily over 60 FPS, even with all of this craziness going on. And it's actually kind of fun to play the game at quarter and half speed. It's a lot of fun seeing all those chunky, meaty bits flying around in slow motion after you blast a guy with a rocket launcher. But look at this, guys. 70 to over 100 FPS on the Dreamcast version of Unreal Tournament. Now, there are other commands you can use to improve the frame rate that don't involve slowing the game down. For example, you can use the FOV command, which will change your field of view. If you make it a smaller field of view, say 50, as you can see, the frame rate jumped quite a bit there. I think it went up 20, 30 FPS. Not exactly the best way to play the game, but still playable. I think I have auto-aim off currently, because usually the auto-aim in this game is absolutely insane. If you're pointing your gun in the general direction of any enemy, it usually will hit them. But in this case, it's just kind of going above his head. But anyway, yeah. I think you might have saw there that the frame rate actually went above 200 FPS for a second there. If I stare at the wall, yeah, it's about 200. There's also another command which allows you to turn off decals, which are the marks on the wall when you shoot the wall, and that improves frame rate, but not by nearly as much as either of these commands do. It'll improve the frame rate about maybe 5 to 7 FPS, which is nothing compared to this. It might take a bit of getting used to playing the game at this speed, but it's just seeing that frame rate go above 200 FPS on this version of the game is just mind-blowing. And boom. Oh, you gotta love it. Gotta love it. Anyway guys, that is going to be it for this video. I just had to show this off. I was recently just playing around and seeing what commands actually worked on the Dreamcast version of the game, because a lot of the ones that are on the PC don't work on the Dreamcast, but those two commands in particular actually do work. There are other things like, say, Ghost, which I typed in wrong. I typed it in the chat instead of a command, which allows you to walk through walls. That works as well. So I can actually back way out of here and get a bird's eye view of everything, which is pretty cool as well. But anyway, yeah, this is the ultimate guide on how to increase your Unreal Tournament Dreamcast frame rate. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you have, don't forget to like the video, comment, and tell me how much you loved it. And until next time, keep on dreaming.